growing up knowing that you can't have like a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Hey guys, welcome to Talk Your Shit podcast. I'm your host Evelyn, and joining me here today is
Sui.
Yay! Okay, so let's do a little introduction because I know a lot of you guys probably don't know who I am. I am currently a freshman at college, and you are?
Junior, I'd say.
It's complicated. I'm also 18, and I have been doing content creating for about almost 2-3 years now, so you guys might know me from my original channel, which will be in the link down below. So make sure to go check me out and check her out on her Instagram and all that stuff. So we're gonna get into the topic now, and today we are going to be talking about what it's like growing up in an Asian household with immigrant parents. So we are both Burmese, full Burmese, not half, not 50, like
I'm
70.
also Indian.
I mean, I think we both are, because I don't know, we don't take DNA tests here. So anyways, what do you think, like, what are like the hardships that you go through, like when you're like in this environment? Because you're like a only child, so like being an only child is probably harder than being like
I mean,
a sibling.
I feel like being an only child and also the oldest child has the same, I guess I would say, like hardships. Because especially with immigrant parents, because they don't speak English.
Yeah.
I think the language barrier between us, like not us, but our parents and the society is what gives us most of our stress.
Right. And like, I don't know about you, but my parents, like, they came here at a pretty like solid like age. So like I think my dad came here when he was like 16, 17, and then my mom came here when she was like 20, 21. So like they had like a good chance to like actually they actually went to this school to learn English 101.
Oh, so did my parents.
Yeah. So
they would come home with that little
paper. Yeah. So they actually like have been here for a pretty long time, to the point where like they kind of understand English, but they're kind of still like embarrassed to like talk because they're scared that like people will judge them. And obviously, like, I'm pretty sure there are times where like your mom or like our parents would say something in English and it doesn't make sense, and then we just like make fun of them. Yeah. I think like that's kind of like what scares them, is like if they go out into like the society and like they go to the grocery store or something, they talk in English, then like these random people are gonna like make fun of them. And like it's just kind of, it's scary. But I get like their side of it. I also think it's hard growing up in an like Asian household, like with immigrant parents, because like as the oldest and only child, like I feel like we had to take that responsibility of like doing everything for like our parents, and like going to like the doctors with them and translating like stuff for them at a young age, or like doing like the math and stuff for like their groceries or something. Like,
it's always the little things. Okay, I think what's the most difficult about it is that it's the little things that they can't do. Because my mom, she, like you said, our parents might get embarrassed when they speak English or something. My mom doesn't get embarrassed. She just does whatever's on her mind. She even argues with her bosses at work because she don't give a shit.
It's actually so funny when Sumi's mom gets like really mad, or like she tries talking in English. I find it so funny because I get my nails done by Sui all the time, and like she'll come up and she'll like randomly spit out like English like words, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's so confident. I really wish.
I feel like she can get around pretty well. English isn't her
first language.
Hardest struggle. My mom's pretty hands-on with everything. It's just having to pay bills online, because everything is online,
technology
these days.
Stuff.
But like little things at work, when they have to do courses, or when we have to make an appointment for an oil change, or we have to do anything.
Yeah, like the phone calls are the ones that like
they
get
always
to them
have trouble with. Because if it's like communicating face to face with someone, I feel like they got it.
Yeah, they got it in the bag. Like, it's not a problem. But I think like making doctor's appointments or like any other appointments is like when they call their
my
like
mom
children.
is good with making doctor's appointments, but then when it comes to the actual appointment and what she needs to tell the doctor, it's different because not only are they're not very good with like, I don't know how to explain it, like specifics, you know, like if she says in my whole, if she says she just says my hand hurts, so like what is the doctor gonna know the difference? What if something's wrong? Carpal tunnel, anything?
Yeah.
It's
like we have to go in depth for them.
Yeah. For us, that's what makes it hard, especially at my age right now. I'm gonna be 22. Most Americans living in America move out of their parents' house by 18.
Yeah.
And it's not a problem for me to live with my parents because obviously they do so much for me. I don't have to pay rent. I don't have to do groceries. I don't have to do like, you know.
And also you're like their only child, so like they probably do want you around. Like
they don't want me to move out
even
after I get married. That's
like
so
that's funny. So like it's like sad to like hear your parents say that, but like you're like, you know yourself, right? And you're like, I need to get out and like explore the world.
Is good.
Yeah.
Suffocating yourself in an environment where you know you're always stressed is not healthy for you.
Talking about change, I don't think Asian parents understand like that change is like, it could be both good and bad.
Exactly.
Like they don't understand that. So like when I'm like, hold on, let's give like an example. So I tell my dad, right? This is just a little story time, but my dad like has a really hard time accepting the fact that I want to go teach abroad. So like he's like, because I'm the oldest daughter and I have 2 siblings, so as the oldest and because I'm a girl as well, he's just like, I'm like, I want to go, like once I graduate, like I want to travel the world, like I want to go to like Singapore or like China and like teach like English abroad, right? Man's like, do you really want to leave us? Like you don't care about your parents, like you're not gonna miss us at all. I'm just like, Dad, like I've lived with you from like age 0 to like however old, like I'm probably gonna be here for like what, the next like 3 years still, so like 23. And like he's just like, you can't leave us, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I gotta do stuff that's like better, like for my own good. And he's just like, he can't accept the fact that like I want to leave. And like it's just crazy. Like she said, gaslighting is like a whole thing. And like in our household specifically, like nakadolo ma, nakakailelo ma, like all this
your
stuff.
Friends more than you care about your family.
Family, yeah.
No, it's just that my friends understand my struggles. They understand what mental health is.
Okay, let's get into that too, because I am so okay. I told Sui this already, but I'm gonna tell you guys, since we're getting real. I have been having mental problems, like mental struggles with like, I've been struggling with mental like stuff like for a really long time, and I'm pretty sure Sui has too. But when I tell you guys that like I was not doing good at all for like the past like 2 weeks, and then I tried communicating with my parents about it, like the only thing you will hear is pray to God, or like you don't need doctors or like therapists, like you have your family, like just talk to us. But then like when we talk to them, it goes out, like it goes in one ear out the other ear, and they can't understand that. And like I get that, like their parents didn't do it either, so like they have a hard time like trying to like fit into that culture because like their parents or like grandparents didn't do the same for them. So yeah, what's your opinion on that?
A lot, especially because in immigrant households, children, especially if you immigrant households and children growing up here in the States, they don't understand. Our parents, they didn't go to school. I mean, they went to school, but like
they didn't like graduate
like here
in America.
School is different over there, and they don't understand the social norms that people expect other people to have, or trying to fit into like anything that's popular or trendy nowadays. And bullying, especially in school, because not, okay, this might sound mean or rude towards our parents, but our parents are our first bullies ever. And
I agree with that, yeah.
And obviously they're our parents, so their words hurt, but it doesn't, like, I don't know how to say, it doesn't
really like touch our hearts like as much because we're so used to it
until it's like degrading you, you know, to a point.
Like we've been holding it in for so long, like taking it in.
Because like bullying at school, you don't know these people, so obviously it's gonna hurt, especially as a young child. Because bullying starts like at a very young age. It started in elementary for me.
Me too.
So imagine a child who, like, an innocent child getting bullied and then going home and keeping that all in. Your brain's not fully developed yet. Nothing's fully developed yet, so it's definitely hard. But and then you grow up and then you isolate yourself, and then that's when your parents come in and they're like, do you not love us anymore? Why don't you want to be with us? Why don't you want to do this? Why don't you want to, you know?
Yeah.
But they are the reason why we don't want to do that. Because I don't know about you guys, because I know there's going to be people watching this that also go through the same struggles as us. But whenever I am with my parents, I can't stay more than maybe like an hour, not even an hour, a couple minutes until we start arguing.
Okay, yeah, me too.
And I hate it so much because I never want to argue. Like, everyone knows me. I hate arguing. I do not like arguing at all. But somehow, some way, I'm always in an argument with my mom.
It always ends with an argument when you're with your parents.
Like, we could be talking about, okay, let's say we're talking about school. And then I say, yeah, I'm struggling a little bit with this subject, but, like, I'll get there. Like, I know I'll get there. I'm just struggling at the moment. But then they have to bring up something like, oh, okay, I don't know. You translate it, I'll say it in my whole.
Okay.
Like, Nahoy, kizaw tua, miya tua chang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, na hurt tunang.
Okay. Okay, so basically like comparing you to like your friends or like someone you know, right? It's like you're saying like, oh, like what about your friend like blank and blank? Like, aren't you guys in like the same grade level? Like, are they getting like higher marks in class? Like, are they like in honors, or like are they like doing like anything to get like scholarships or something? Like they're just like, we personally have experienced this where like our parents have personally like compared us to like another like family friend that we know, or like a school friend that we know.
And it hurts because that person that they compare us to is so close to us.
Yeah. And
like you don't want to hate the person that they're comparing you to, but something in your heart is telling you like, maybe I am not as good as them.
Yeah.
Or maybe I can't be like them.
I think it's worst when you were in like elementary school and you were at that peak of like, I need to start
to find yourself.
Yeah. And like I need to start like actually paying attention in class, like getting good grades, right? And then like all of a sudden like all you hear, like you get your report card back to your parents and all you hear is like, what about like your friend? Like what grade did she get? Like look at your sister's grade, like look at your brother's grade. Like I'm just like, okay, like you're bringing my self-esteem down just a little bit.
Everyone's brains works differently, which is what I always tell my mom, and now that's starting to get in her head. She herself said that because there has been something going on currently between my schoolwork and someone else, and that someone else's mom is talking shit about me and how their child is already doing this and that and stuff like that. And that other person that they're comparing, like the person that is talking shit about me, their child is like one of my best friends. And it's like, I don't want to compare myself. I'm so proud of my friend,
right,
for what they're able to do
and accomplish, right,
and accomplishments, especially with, because I know they struggle through mental health as well. So I don't want to, there is no like platform or anything that I want to put anyone up higher in,
right,
you know, because we're also doing different things. school, I'm doing pre-health.
Right.
They're doing maybe like computer science, maybe like other stuff.
Right.
We can't compare ourselves if we're not even doing the same thing. Even if we were, our brains are differently, like I said.
Yeah.
We can't.
I don't understand why Asian parents specifically, because I haven't seen this in any other, like, any one of my other, like, friends that are, like, a different, like, race or ethnicity than us. I just think, like, specifically, like, Burmese, like, people, like, they just love, like, what's that word? Like, like, they're so proud of their children that they want to, like, what's that word? It starts with a B. I can't think of it in my head. It's not biased, but, like, it's, like, 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 do you know what I'm trying to say? Guys, I don't remember the word.
They put their, like, children at such a high pedestal towards other people.
Oh, I got it. They love bragging about their children.
And boasting.
Yes. Like, I don't understand what it's doing for you when you're bragging about your child to, like, another parent's, like, another child's parents.
Because who knows, maybe that child that you're trying to make feel bad by bragging about your own child, maybe in 3 years, maybe in 20 years, they'll become the president. Like,
yeah, you never know.
You never know what's gonna happen. So what's the point of bragging about it now?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I've gone through that, like, so much when I was, like, through, like, elementary, through, like, end of middle school. I've just gone through that, like, so much. Like, I've been compared almost my whole life. So after, like, getting into high school, like, I finally, like, started to, like, ignore all those things. And I'm like, okay, I'm growing up a little bit more. Like, maybe I need to, like, stop worrying about, like, the things that, like, people will say to, like, me and, like, to, like, other people. So, like, I just don't worry about it anymore. But there are times where, like, it, like, kicks back and it's like, wow. Like,
it's definitely not, at this point, it's not like other people, it's always the same person. And my mom now, like, I've sat down and cried to her about my struggles mentally and academically, like, how I'm just stuck, you know. I was stuck, well, not right now, but, like,
right.
I mean, it's definitely hard, but I know I'll get there because I know what I'm capable of. And I, like, cried to her about it, and it was the first time she's ever seen me, because I never showed my struggles to my parents ever about me in school because I was so afraid that I would get compared with. But now I'm just like, I feel like growing up, even though I've argued more with my mom, I've built a much stronger relationship with her, to the point where I don't really keep secrets about my life to her anymore. And I told her, I cried to her about it, and she, like, full on, like, just felt so bad for me. And then she was like, I didn't know you were going through this. And then she talked to my fiance about it when he came home, when I wasn't there, by the way. She just talked to him, and she was like, Sui does so much, like, schoolwork, and I know, especially right now, because I'm trying to rush to get my bachelor's because I want to get married. But she was talking to him about it. She was like, Sui's doing so much work, and like, she's scared that I'm going to eventually go crazy from
doing schoolwork,
doing so much work. It's not only schoolwork, we're very involved in our church.
Yeah,
we're very involved in other things, work, church, just home life, like, everything. We're so involved,
like,
that
trying to keep,
it's very hard to balance everything out. Work life balance, school life balance, relationships, everything. So she told him, she was like, I want to put her out of school for a little bit if it's gonna make her feel better.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I want to
like, finish because like we mentioned, like, our parents didn't get good education, right? So they put that, like
they don't want us to be them.
Yeah. They don't want us to be them. So, like, they put that, like, not pressure, but, like, it's like the number one pressure. Yeah, they put, like, a number one bullet point, like, in us to do, like, and go and get our bachelor's or, like, our master's.
The main thing that they want
graduate
is us having an education.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful, because the only reason I can go to school right now is because of my parents.
Yeah.
But, like I always say, brains work differently. So if someone's finishing something faster, don't make the other person feel bad just because they're taking it slower.
Yeah.
They'll eventually get there.
And, like, we've also told, like Sui mentioned, like, me and her are like co-teachers for each other in Sunday school, like at our church. So going over like this like mental like illness stuff with like these students like really relates back to us, because like we've gone through it way before these kids have, right? And now we're teaching it, so then they like know how to like solve their issues with that. And also it's more of like, you also have to teach the parents, right? Because the parents,
children become parents to their children. I mean, to their parents.
yeah, yep.
It's so like,
It's sad.
it's actually really sad.
It's sad. I feel like I've also seen it in myself. Like, I'm parenting my parents.
Definitely.
And like, it's so funny because I texted one of our friends, Jungta. I texted him yesterday and he was like, that's crazy. Like, a child like parenting their parents is crazy. And I was like, yeah, it is. It's wild. Like,
but we have no other choice as well.
yeah.
Because
like,
if our parents aren't stable, then
there's
neither are we.
There's this one student in our classroom that I feel completely like bad for, because like, one, she's the oldest daughter, okay? She has a sister, and she like, her parents, like, I have seen this, and she has told us specifically like how stressed she can get like with school, because obviously she's in middle school, and
she's a very smart girl.
She's a very smart girl, and she's in her first year of middle school, and like, it's just like her little sister, like, she has to look over them, like help her parents with like chores in the house, like making sure that her sister doesn't get upset. Like, where is her time? Do you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't she doesn't have the time for herself to actually like sit down and like take a deep breath and like really think about herself. Like, she's so busy, like her brain's active, her body's active. Like, I know she's exhausted.
Because
like,
a lot of mental stuff, like mental problems that we deal with as adults, stems from childhood.
Yeah. And parents don't understand that. And I, till this day, I still don't understand why they don't get it. Like, my parents personally, they're like, oh, like mental health is not like a real thing, like you guys are just like, it's all you're like psycho, like all that stuff. And I'm just like, but it's not. Like, I'm taking psychology right now and like learning about all of this like really like sparked like my knowledge, because I'm just like, wow, like my dad has really like put in like my brain that like all this shit is like just psycho stuff. And then like, I go into psychology and I actually learned that it's a real shit, and then I try explaining it to them and they don't want to listen. And I'm just like, okay, well, this is why our relationship is not getting any better. But I'm working on it with my parents. I think as the oldest, I'm trying to be more honest with my parents. Even if my younger siblings don't want to be honest with my parents, like, I'm trying my best to like not judge people, and it's like working, but it's not working. And then like, I'm trying to like communicate with my parents, letting them know like what's going on in school, church, like my friend groups, like with like our family members and all that stuff. But like I said, again, for us specifically, it goes in one ear out through the other. So like, it's really hard, but eventually like you get used to it, which is like so fucked up. But like, you just have to like kind of like endure it yourself. And like, if you find like someone, like a friend or like a boyfriend or a girlfriend like that you can talk to,
definitely your safe spot.
Your safe spot. Yeah. If you find someone, then you know you're good. So yeah, but I don't know. I wanted to mention like these parents at our church, like, love you guys. If you guys ever see this video, I love you guys so much. I love all the children. Like, I don't have any hate to anyone. Well, I do, but I don't at the same time. Like,
I don't think it's hate. I think it's just a strong like dislike.
It's not hate. Hate was a strong word to use. But I just think like there's like, so like, we just don't connect like I do with like Sui or like anyone else at church, right? I don't know about you, but like these parents, like, love them, but they make me so mad, because like we have these parent teacher conference, and like they're like, we're telling them like all these stuff, and then like they just say yeah,
they don't, but then they don't to improve,
yeah,
and especially like, as parents.
And it's sad, because like you shouldn't have like a 9 and 11-year-old like telling you like all this stuff. Like, you don't, I know for a fact that as a parent, you don't want to hear your child saying like, I have like suicidal thoughts, or like I have depression, or like I have like ADHD, or like something like that. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want your child like to feel like they don't belong and like their parents can't listen. So like, personally as a parent, like I've seen my parents, like when I become a parent, like I know what not to do and what to do. So like, it's just a very eye-opening experience, if you'll ask me. Yeah, I don't know, it's just, also, why is that red car just circling like around?
I don't know, but like you said, mental health, our parents are definitely not the brightest in mental health. Like, they're definitely, it's not their strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
And that affects us because our parents are who we look up to the most. And if they're the ones telling us that, it's just because we're
crazy,
psycho,
yeah,
and stuff. It takes a toll on someone, and having suicidal thoughts is very dangerous, especially at a young age, because you're scared,
yeah,
but you also don't want to live in that situation anymore.
And I also want to say to all of our listeners and our viewers, if you're having suicidal thoughts and you have no one to talk to, please contact what's the number? 119.
Suicide hotline.
Yeah, 119 is, I think, is the number. So make sure to like text or call. They're available at any time if you need someone to talk to. I know I have tried it myself. I don't know about Sumi, but I have done it myself. So they are pretty helpful, and if you guys need anyone, make sure to contact them. So,
or reach out to your friends, people you know have your back. I think that's very important. And I myself have gone through struggles mentally and like socially, like everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I know for a fact I have been an anchor for someone that was dealing with all those things. And I'm so happy to know that I was able to save them from whatever that they were struggling with, whatever they were going through. And so I promise you, the people that you think like
don't care,
we really do.
They do.
Like, before I was even close with this person, I knew they were struggling, but they never reached out. But then once they did, like, now we have an inseparable bond.
Mm-hmm.
It's just reach out. If you're having trouble, reach out. And to our parents, I know that it's not like their goal to put this stress onto us. They just don't know how to bring it forward to
mm-hmm.
us. And like I said, it's also our parents' first time living.
Yeah,
they're obviously gonna struggle.
Yeah,
but don't put all the blame on them. But obviously talk to them. It's very important.
Communication is key, guys.
Communication is the most important thing.
Like, a lot of people think like,
everything.
Yeah, talking to friends, family, loved ones, like your boyfriend, girlfriend, like, doesn't matter who it is. Like, you can even talk to a newborn, even though they don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah,
and like
newborns actually can hear you, and like your voice, like vibrations.
Really?
Yeah. So
talk to a newborn if you don't have anyone to talk to. But
babies are smart as shit.
They're really smart. Like, I don't know, I heard that babies can learn, or like toddlers can learn like up to like 10 languages.
Toddlers are so smart.
Like Levi, look at Levi. Like Levi
like,
is
he
so
already knows
smart.
Michael in English.
Can we talk about the way he drank his milk and his pinky was standing up?
He took it.
He said.
And he's not even, what, 2 years old?
He's not 2. He's turning 2 March next year.
Crazy.
I know.
And he's tall. But Emily's pretty tall too.
Emily's tall. Yeah.
Go out, boys. Is that right?
Don't do go out, boys.
I mean, he's taller than Emily though, right?
No, I think Emily's taller.
Oh, shoot.
We love you guys. If you guys are watching or listening.
We love Levi.
We love you guys too. Okay, so continuing on with growing up with immigrant parents.
We're not gonna talk about
growing up knowing that you can't have like a boyfriend or a girlfriend, like, at all. And this is a topic that like pretty much hits home for me personally, because like I know Sui is getting engaged, if you guys can't tell. She has a ring on her finger, and Sui is such like a lucky girl to have Justin. Justin is such a lucky man to have Suimi. Let's get into depth about like being at a young age, like elementary school all the way to like end of high school, like college even. What did you always hear from your parents like growing up? Like I know like a couple things.
No boyfriend until you finish school. No boyfriend while you're in school.
Yeah. So I think I had this conversation with both my parents, not when I was in elementary school. I think it was when I was in middle school, because they knew I was growing up. So they were like,
going through puberty.
You're not allowed to have a boyfriend until you're like done with college. And I'm like, in my head, like when I was in middle school, like that didn't really comprehend to me, because I was like, okay, like it's not like I'm gonna get a boyfriend. Like if I have a crush, like I'm just gonna have a crush.
Disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. So in my head I was just like, oh, don't even worry about it. Like I'm never gonna have anyone. Like I might have a crush or two, but I'm never gonna have a boyfriend, right? Middle school, never had a boyfriend. I think end of 8th grade I did, but like beginning and like middle of 8th grade, like 6th and 7th I didn't have any, but like 8th grade I did, and I think it lasted like a year,
in middle school. That's
almost long. A year, because I think it was 8th through 9th grade. And so then I had like a long time high school crush, and Sumi knows about it, but we're not gonna mention names or anything, but I've had a crush on someone for almost like 5-6 years, and it was just crazy. I was like crazy like crushing, like I was like so in love with this guy, like there was no stopping me. But my like dad
was
like
one stopping thing.
Okay. But here's the thing, like my dad always reminded us, like throughout my high school years, he was like, do you have a boyfriend? Do you guys have a boyfriend? Like does, and like or like does any boy like you? Like do they show a little bit of a sign? And I'm just like, no. Like Frederick boys are so like ew, like you know what I mean? So like I never was really honest about like relationships, because like my dad is the type of dad to be like, when he's like sober, he's like, you can have a boyfriend like when you get into college, but then like when he's like a little bit wasted, he's kind of like, he's like, you need to have a boyfriend. Like he's demanded about it, right? And then
he wants grandchildren.
So then like I'm just like, okay, didn't you just tell me like 5 hours ago that like you did not want me to have like a boyfriend until I was done with school or something? So like it confused me a lot as a kid, like if I was able to have a boyfriend or if I wasn't able to have a boyfriend. But like what's your like, how did it go down in your household? Because I know every household is different.
So my parents were a very, I feel like my parents, they're not strict, they're just very protective. There's a difference, you know? Because they let me hang out with my friends, they let me have sleepovers and stuff, but they didn't let
my parents could never
go out late or like, you know, stuff like that. I mean, sometimes I would break the rules and I would go out late anyways, and then they would be mad, but it never went any further than like we're just worried about you, like we don't want you going out too late, especially because you're a girl, you're still young.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
oh, we need to get into that part too.
I understood everything that they said, and I didn't want a boyfriend either for like in middle school. Like I've had crushes, but I was never the type of girl to be like, I hope he asks me out. Because I was scared.
We're so opposite. We're so opposite.
I was scared of commitment. I was mainly because I could see, okay, this might hit home for a lot of people, but I could see relationships in my family, not just my parents, but like a lot of like my aunts, my uncles, cousins, or even just people at church that have had failed marriages or like stuff like that, and it scared me because I'm like, I want to marry someone, I want them to love me for the rest of my life, I want to love them for the rest of my life,
till death do us part.
And just seeing all those people that I thought were so happy in public, that they were going through all that stuff in private. Like I did not want that for myself, so I was like, I'm gonna stay single. My aunt is single. She's never, like, she was married, but he he died and stuff. Never got remarried, never had like, you know,
Faithful.
no relationships after that. I was like, I'm gonna be like her, I'm gonna die without having, you know, because I just didn't want that. But then around like freshman year of high school, that was when everything changed, because I could see like high school is when relationships start getting serious.
It's like at the peak of the mountain, right? Yeah.
A lot nowadays it's not really serious, but
back then
it was pretty much like high school sweethearts, like, you know, going to prom together, promposals, like stuff, like cute stuff like that. And
Bitch, I wish.
I would see it and I would be like, oh, I really wish that was me.
Literally.
But then in freshman year I was in this club, and there was a guy, and I was like, he was a senior too. But I was like, wow, I really like this guy, but I know he's a senior, and it's very looked down upon for a senior guy to be dating a freshman girl.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think even when I was in high school, like, it was weird if like a senior girl liked a freshman guy, or like if a senior guy or like a junior guy liked like a freshman girl. It was just, I don't know what it was.
Just, I mean, I understood because when you were a senior, you were turning 18 or were already 18, and then you just have freshly graduated middle schoolers coming to school.
People would just say like, oh, you're like a child like predator, blah, 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 pedophile. So.
He was very sweet. Like, it was volleyball club. He was like tall, like blah, 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 and like the dream prince looking guy kind of person. But I was like, you know, we were in a team once, and then I was like, I kind of really like this guy. I'm gonna start talking to him. If you guys saw me in high school, I don't know what she was thinking she could pull anyone, but
you know what's so funny? Till this day, I still love Sui with her like straight black hair with like the little layers, and then her glasses. Like, that's the only Sui that I really like knew.
My trademark was literally red lipstick. With black hair too.
It really was. It was like full on, like, it wasn't even just a tint. It was smothered.
Full on
like,
red.
Okay, continue on.
I got that from my mom.
Your mom does love lipstick.
But she looks good with it. I just don't look good with red lipstick like that.
Yeah,
like,
it needs to be tinted.
More like mauve or like, you know.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
You know? But, okay, anyways, sidetracked. And then he graduated. But before they graduated, we had a senior night, you know, like we usually do.
Yeah.
And I went, and, you know, he was like talking to everyone, thanking us, and he was like, oh, you came. Side conversation.
Right.
And I was like, does this guy like me?
Delusional to the max.
I told all my friends, but I didn't want to tell my parents. You know, but they were already asking me, like, but their questions weren't at school. They were like, do any guys at church like you? Do you like anyone at church? Yeah.
Church.
Ironic, because now I'm engaged to a guy from church. But I was like, no, ew. Because I saw everyone at church. Well, he wasn't at church when this happened.
Oh, yeah, no.
But I saw everyone at church, like my brothers and sisters. I still do. You know, I wouldn't see anyone at church, even though we're grown now and we're at that age of where people want to get into relationships.
Yeah.
I still don't see them as anything other than my brothers.
It's so funny because, like, we say this now, but then, like, back then, like, we didn't know, right? Like, we didn't know that, like, we saw these people as, like, our siblings. So, like, we would just have I know I did. Like, I had random crushes on random ass people in our church.
I had a crush on anyone our age, though.
Really?
I always had crushes on people older
than me.
Like Usam.
I did not think he was.
Joseph and Thomas.
Okay, like, honestly speaking, I feel like I had a crush on this one guy who came to our church, and I don't remember who he was, but it was like a crazy, like, it was a crazy, he was really good looking. I just don't remember what his name was or what he looked like. Crap, I forgot his name. Anyways, moving on. Like, looking back at it now,
like,
I don't remember what he looked like.
Okay.
I really don't. Like, I don't know what it is, but like, I can't, like, seem to, like, get it in my head.
The only person that I can think of that used to come to our church and left is my uncle.
No, it's not your uncle. I know that for a fact it's not your uncle. He was a no. He was at our old.
Was at our old church.
No, you know who I had a crush on when I was younger? At our very old church, I had a crush on Emily's ex-boyfriend. The Laipa.
I don't think I knew him.
I don't know what his name was. It was not Joseph, it was not Joshua. It was something with the J. What is up with me and guys with J's? Like, do you notice that?
His name was John.
It wasn't your uncle.
It better not have been because he's ugly.
No, it was not your uncle, but it was Emily's ex-boyfriend, and I don't remember what his name was, but this man was unreal when I saw him when I was younger. Like, I know it sounds weird, like thinking about it when I was like at that like younger age, but like looking back at it now, like I don't know, he was so good looking. Like, he would come in class with me and Emily. Like, Emily and Dede were teaching. Mm-hmm. And it was me, Judy, like Melvin, Daryl, all of those people. And we were doing these country dances. And I think he bought like cookies or something one time. And like he just came in and he was just like talking to like me and Judy and like Sarah and all of them. We were just like, I just like looked at him. I was like you know that song, like, ah. I was like in that, like, oh, that guy was so fine. Go Emily, if you're listening to this or if you're seeing this, I'm telling you, that guy was so fine, but not anymore because I don't know where he is. But
or
anyways,
what he looks like,
or what he looks like now. You never know, because these guys, like Laipas, like they be drinking, they got like some beer belly, and like you have no idea like what's gonna happen. So yeah, but continue with your story. Sorry.
But after that, sophomore, junior year, I didn't really, deal with that. But when I was younger, I went through what no girl or guy wants to go through. Mm-hmm. And it was like, sexual assault is very real, especially in church, and mine happened with someone from church. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of also put me in a shell where I did not want to be around any guys at all, but until freshman year. But after that, like, it started coming back. Like, it was this very seasonal depression is real too.
Oh, it's so real.
And around the time where I started realizing, like, this comes back to me all the time, even until now. Mm-hmm. But now I have someone that I can talk to about it, and mm-hmm. It helps me more. But I didn't like men very much, so mm-hmm. I would focus on school. I would do everything that I needed to do until COVID hit. Mm-hmm. And during my sophomore year, sophomore year, that's when I started my first job. Mom's calling, guys. But around that was when I first started having my first job. And your first job will introduce you to so many new people. And I worked at this Korean bakery, and they also did boba, like cakes and everything like that, And then I started seeing these young people come in, because boba was very popular. It still is, but like, and then
back then, like during COVID, it was like really, really popular.
And these guys would come in, and I would be like, oh my god, they're actually kind of cute, and they would, flirt, talk back, flirting with the cashier. That's so cliche, but
can we talk about this one time, like, you stopped working there? I think it was it when Joy was working there? I don't know, but there were these guys who were like standing in front of me to get boba. They were in college. I think I was like a junior in like sophomore or junior in high school.
I stopped working there around 2022, so
it's like sophomore, junior year.
Yeah.
So like they were sitting in front of me. This one guy specifically looked so good. Like, he was so good looking, but like he was in front of me. He turned around. I got so shy, I looked away, and then I think Joy like took my order or something, or I could be totally wrong. But it was so funny. Like, the guy was so hot.
Oh.
But anyways, continue on.
But then I started talking to this one dude that worked with us, and he was my first ever relationship ever, and I was like, what, 19? Mm-hmm. And it lasted a month. It was not serious, but it changed me so much because he was my first ever relationship.
Right.
And I had talked to him about how I have very like protective parents, they're strict-ish to a point. And I told him, I was like, you need to be patient with me. Like, if you want to date me, this was before we started dating. I was like, if you want to, like, date me, you need to know what comes with the package. And I told him, I was like, I want to wait till marriage. I want to, you know, like, dates, hanging out, that's just not going to be every day, every night, like, type of thing. My parents are very, like...
So, like, your boundaries. He needed to know what your boundaries were.
And it wasn't just my boundaries, it was mainly my parents' boundaries. Because I was fine with, like, you know...
Going out
and hanging out, but my parents, you know?
Right.
And he was also not our culture. Like, he was not our religion. He was not the same ethnicity as us. And that was something that I thought my parents did not want for me. So it was very difficult because I wanted to please my parents. But then he was like, oh yeah, that's fine, like, I don't care, like, I like you, I want you, I want this. And I was like, okay, fine. It took me like 3 or 4 months to finally say yes to him. And then when we finally dated, all of those check marks that I told him that he needed to check were the reasons why we broke up.
Right.
And he would get mad at me for not telling my parents that we were together. And I was like, I understand that, but we're not even that serious yet. Once I know that you're serious about me, that's when I'll tell my parents. Because who do I look like introducing some random guy to my parents if he's just going to break my heart or, like, you know, do something stupid a month later? And I was right. It was a good thing I didn't tell my parents or, like, introduce him to my parents.
Right.
Because it never worked out. But I think that looking back now, because I've told my parents now that I used to talk to him and date him, they were like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like,
yeah.
You know? And then looking back
now, he
was
not a good guy at all.
I was just too scared for myself that, like, my parents would be mad at me instead of, you know. But that is, like, something a lot of Asian kids struggle with their significant others or their love life, telling their parents that it was such a struggle. But for me, I think once I grew up, I built a more stronger relationship with my parents that I was fine with telling them that I was dating Justin, but they knew before I even told them. So,
well, you guys are always
parents,
like, you know,
especially mother's intuition.
Yeah,
but my dad was the one that told me that he wanted me to start dating Justin, and then like 4 days later, he asked me out.
Yeah, wow.
And I was like,
they knew. They knew.
He was like, my dad was like kind of tipsy, but like once he starts getting tipsy, he starts telling the truth. Like,
yeah.
He's like, I think that he would be such a great guy for you. I can see by the way he looks at you and the way he smiles at you that he's gonna take care of you for the rest of your life. Yeah. And I was like,
and guess what? It's real.
I was like, really? It's real. Drinking, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was holding on to our dog Princess at the time. Aww. He was like petting him.
Yeah. I honestly, like, I feel like, whoa, what is going on with my hair? But I feel like it, like, parents always end up knowing, even if you tell them or not. I feel like for me, like, my parents haven't found out that I had a crush on anyone because I've been able to hide it for so long now.
I hid it so well too for a while.
And like, I'm doing pretty good hiding it. Like, I don't have a crush right now, don't get me wrong, I have no crush. But like, when I did, like, and they would constantly ask me, like, I would have like a frowny, like, bitchy, like, type of face, and then I would just be like, no, I don't have anyone. Like, why would you assume that? And they're like,
I'm too busy.
Yeah, I'm like too busy with school and stuff. And they were like, yeah, that's good, like, that's what you need. And you know what I mean? But like, now, like, my dad's like, you're in college, like, don't boys like kind of like you right now? Like, are you not like trying to talk to boys? And I'm just like, no, because like, in my head, like, what they've put in my head is like, you need to like get a degree, you need to study hard, because we didn't study hard. And like, having that like set in my head ever since I was a baby, like, I just feel like that's the only thing that's running in my head. I'm not looking for anyone to like anymore. You know what I mean? I mean, if I do come across a hot guy, then that's like a whole different thing. But like, or like a cute guy, but like, that's like a whole like different story. And right now, like, I think I'm perfectly fine single. I think I'm loving the single life. And then plus, I have a bestie who's like engaged, so I can just like come into the conversation like whenever I want to. And Justin is pretty far away right now, so Justin, we miss you.
He's like 8,000 miles away from me right now, and I'm not even joking. He's in Japan.
Yeah. But anything else you want to add to like dating?
do not be afraid to tell your parents, especially if you are 100% sure that this is going to be a serious relationship, because telling your parents sooner is better than later. Because I have an example. In our family, there was someone that is married now, they have kids now, but she never told her parents that she was in a relationship.
Wow.
But she was also scared because he was a different race. And I understand that completely, because a lot of Burmese, like a lot of Asian people, like parents, look down on different, like dating different races, because they
like
want interracial couples. Like those are, but our church has a lot of them now.
They do.
And we love everyone. Like we love their kids, like everything. But this person, she got proposed to, and she said yes. But the thing is, the guy didn't ask for the hand in marriage
to the parents. Mm-hmm. See, and that's
she had
the
to
big
break
part.
the news to her father. I'm getting married, and that was the first time he's ever heard about the relationship. So obviously, as a father, he was heartbroken. He was like, "Why didn't you let us meet him? We could have had like a connection. We could have had like built a relationship with him." But now,
they're doing better now, right?
They're definitely doing better. But that's what I mean. Like, do not be afraid to tell your parents. One of our friends, they still haven't brought their significant other to their house to meet their parents, and they've been dating for like 3 years now.
3 years, almost 4.
And a lot of relationships, like thoughts about marriage, start coming around that time.
Right, like 3 to 4 years, like that's a pretty long time.
So it's very important to not even like meet them all the time. At least let them meet them once.
Parents, right? Like get to like sink in with the information.
Let them know that
like,
you are dating. Yeah. You let them know that this is a serious relationship.
I also think like it's a big thing in Burmese culture where it's like if you want to get married to someone's daughter, like the guy has to ask.
The blessing is the most important part in a relationship, like in a marriage.
I'm 18. Obviously, I'm not getting married anytime soon. We all know that. But I had this like question come up in my head because Sui obviously got engaged, right? She got like Justin asked the family for the hand in marriage. They had this whole like group of people like come and like talk. Sui didn't want anyone to find out that she was gonna get engaged, and I think like the Burmese community, personally, from what I see in my perspective, is that like they love to
shit talking,
and it's like they love to like find out the little pieces, you know what I mean? So like when
and if
obviously
they can't find that little piece, they love to add onto it.
Yeah. So when Sui got like when me and like a couple of her friends knew that she was getting engaged, she didn't like she knew, but like she tried not to know is like what I'm gonna say, because like she like had these like little instincts that like, oh, he was gonna propose. But like I remember Sui saying like, I don't want anyone else to find out other than like my close friends, right? Like if I was to have like a proposal or anything, and then like the mom and dad obviously find out, your step uncle, like your uncle-in-law like found out too, because you know Justin and all that. So all these people, like our whole church knew about her engagement.
People that I've never
talked to. Yeah. So like I was in shock when everyone heard, because I was like, wow, like Suimi didn't want these people to know yet, at least. And now like this whole like rumor is like spreading out because of this like blessing that like they're doing at Sui's house. So like in my head, I told Sui, I was just like, you know, I don't want like people finding out like that I'm gonna get proposed to. Like if I haven't gotten a ring on my finger, I don't want to know that I'm getting proposed to. I want it to be a whole surprise, right? I asked my mother too, I was like, do we have to have the guy to like come in and like invite all of like our grandmothers, our aunts, and like all that stuff to come over and like actually like sit down and talk about it? She was like, yeah, that's like what we need to do. Like that's like tradition. That's tradition. And I was just like, yeah, but like what if like I don't want to find out, but then like people start coming up to me and they're like,
it was definitely the asking for the blessing part isn't like a spoiler to the fact that when you're gonna get proposed to, you know,
it's just like for them to know, right?
It's just a sign for them to know that, you know,
right? So after I like asked them that, like I finally like understood like what that was for. So like in Burmese
'Cause
culture,
I didn't
like
know when he was gonna propose either.
Right.
But I knew he was
going
proposing.
to, yeah.
You know?
So like in Burmese culture, if you're planning to date a Burmese girl specifically, just know that you need to ask for the parents' blessing as well as like the aunt, uncle, grandma, all that stuff.
It's a weird way to put it, but your grandparents, if they're there, they're the ones that, you know, kind of have the whole say, except like obviously your parents, but they're also the ones that are giving you away too, because they're the head of the family.
Yeah, they're the oldest.
Your
so.
aunts and uncles, they're the ones that ask the guy's family for money to be like, do you really love it? Prove it. Give us this for her, you know?
And it sounds so bad, guys.
It's like
but
you're selling your daughter away,
yeah, but
it's not like that.
Not anything like that. And that's why, like, if I was to date someone outside of my culture or like my, you know, my race, no, not race, whoa, my ethnicity and my nationality, then obviously I'm gonna probably like after like 2-3 months, I'm hoping to like introduce him to my parents, because
I think that's a good time.
Because I just feel like, what if, like, here's the thing, y'all might not like agree with me, but like, let's say like I'm dating someone, right? And like we do like these activities and like something might happen to me and they don't know what happened to me, like who's gonna be in charge of that? Like they don't know who I'm hanging out with, right? If I lie to them and I'm like, oh, I'm hanging out with like Sui, or like if I'm hanging out with another friend of mine, they're just gonna think that I'm hanging out with you guys, and when they call and like they don't know where I am, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just safety reasons too. I think it's like important that like your parents know where you are, but like they're not like too overprotective is like another thing of mine. So always tell your parents what you're doing, never hide secrets, and if they get mad, they get mad. Like
they'll get over it.
Yeah, I mean, I've dealt with it. I'm just like okay, whatever. So.
I think it was so much easier for me to introduce that we were dating too, because I've known Justin for a really long time. We grew up together. We were like friends. Like he was like what, 13 or 14 when he got here.
Yeah, they're in like the same age group. So like her, Sarah, Blessing, like all of them, like they had like this like friend group. So like they got along pretty well.
He used to get like, I felt so bad for him because I thought like one of these guys used to be rude to him for no reason. Like this little Burmese boy just came here and now you're being rude to him. And I would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you being so rude?
Yeah.
And look at us now.
We're together. They're together. But it's a really cute love story. I think your child,
it's so cute.
Children will love to hear your love story.
He knew what I was wearing the first day he saw me, and I don't even know what he was wearing.
What were you wearing?
This light blue short like mini dress, and then my hair was long and black, and I had like a silver belt, and then I had black heels on.
This is how you know style was so different back then.
It was so ugly.
Because like I know my style was crazy. Like my mom used to dress me in the craziest outfits. Y'all, this one time my mother dressed me as like, you know, the England, like London, and like the knights that like sit on the horse.
Stop, I've seen that outfit.
No, you're lying. Sure I have a photo, you guys. I need to show you guys because it's so funny.
Or
like,
was that someone else?
No, I think it was someone's wedding. Right?
But he said that he started liking me then. And I was like, what? Why have you never told me that you had a crush on me back then? We could have been dating for a really long time now.
Yeah. Like, just look at this fit. Guys, can you guys see? Wait, hold on. What is that outfit? My mother did me so dirty. And
they thought they ate too.
I know. It's so funny because looking back at it, I'm just like, wow, like the outfits that we wear now versus like what we wear like back then was so different also. Guys.
The bob.
It's so crazy. Like look at the outfit. Like I don't think you'll see anything like this anymore. Like the
They
little
don't make little cute
ruffles.
clothes like that for little kids anymore.
Yeah, they don't. And it's so sad because like I actually like enjoy looking back at this and being like, wow, like these outfits are actually pretty cool. Wait, I can't find the photo. What? Oh my gosh, guys. Also talking about like when we were younger.
Are you about to show them the dancing video?
Yeah.
I knew it.
Guys, look. I miss our old church so much. Wait. Look, I'm in the blue and the red. Who mixes blue and red together?
So
like,
weird.
like my mom did me so dirty. She made me look like a snowflake and then like a ribbon. Like, oh, I miss our old church so much. Like we did everything there.
And we were much closer and like I feel like more respectful back then.
Oh yeah, these kids have no respect no more. Like you tell them to go to class and they just give you all this attitude, and I'm just like,
You tell them to go to class,
Please.
they say you go to class. I'm the one teaching you. That's why I'm telling you to go to class.
But yeah, that's like our inside of like what it's like growing up as an Asian in an Asian household with immigrant parents. I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of Talk Yo Shit.
Much more.
Much more. You guys will see
so much more in Asian household like struggles, but this video is already what, that long?
plus another 30 minutes from the other clips. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, make sure to give this podcast a 5-star rating, thumbs up. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel and my Instagram. I'll have them linked in the description. But we will be back with many more podcasts for you guys. I know Suimi is in like 2 more podcasts, and then I have a couple more guests coming on. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed once again, and we will see you guys with a brand new episode very soon. Bye.